Rad-Ish. Welcome to Rad-Ish, the podcast where we spotlight people who shape counterculture and champion alternative ways of living through their passions.
Hello, everyone. Today we're talking to Lensa. Lensa is a student and activist based here in Amsterdam. She's the daughter of Oromo migrants. And for the listeners who don't know, Oromo is the name of one of the largest Negri groups of Ethiopia. She grew up in Madrid in Spain, and she moved to the Netherlands about 4 years ago to study anthropology. Lensa has been actively involved in student activism and in the construction of alternative learning spaces within the university, especially but not exclusively related to the Palestinian struggle for liberation. I'm very, very happy to have you here today. I've been in many of the sort of spaces that you've been actively involved in, and I've always sort of admired you from distance. I always admired your courage and very visible commitment in speaking up in really all the phases of the genocide, and especially in the face of the sort of massive resistance that the universities have put in our way to mobilize for the genocide. So thank you so much for coming. It's really a pleasure. And to start, I was hoping you could tell me a bit more about what brought you to Amsterdam in the first place, why you came here, and how, what is the first time perhaps that you realized that student activism and the commitment to social justice was something you wanted to actively pursue?
Yes, thank you very much for having me here, and it's a pleasure. So I would say that ever since I was young, I was pretty much committed to, address social injustices. And I think that many people have this, that in high school, at least in Spain, it's very common that students would sometimes skip class to just go to protest about like the environment, or in the 8th of March for women's rights and all kinds of protests. So I think that this was always in me. I grew up in in my neighborhood, it is very common to see all kinds of protests. So I guess I've always seen it. And then with my parents just being like migrants, and we're also visibly Black, I've always been, experienced all kinds of discrimination. So I guess I was never the kind of person that would just let it be, but I was very much into it. When I was maybe like 15, 16, I joined an anti-racist organization in my city, and I became a quite active member. Mm-hmm. And I think this was like the first time I was more like an active organizer, I would say, where I met like some people, and they told me, I met 2 Brazilian sociologists, and they were very inspiring to me. At some point, they told me to look up into sociology and anthropology and just social sciences, because my mind was more on the law path, but then they were like, no, look, social sciences. And then I really liked it. I wasn't attracted to sociology programs in Spain, so I just looked around Europe. And I ended up in Amsterdam, pretty diverse city, English friendly, people with all kinds of backgrounds. So that's why I moved here. The program also seemed pretty nice. And I guess my activism kind of stopped there when I first moved in here, because I just wanted to make new friends and stuff. But I guess October 7th happened, and I saw all the mass protests, and I attended those. And the moment I saw that there was something starting up in my own university, I decided to join them, of course.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And you've mentioned that sort of activism was something that was very early on in you. So I was wondering if perhaps there is a specific figure of a thinker, or even family member, it could be, that had a sort of a major influence in the way that you think about social justice and activism.
Yes, I mean, it's always my mom or my grandma. And I guess the fact that my mom migrated to a new country with my father as well, but let's focus on my mom here. I think it was very inspiring. Yes, she used to work like at a restaurant, and then I always, I would always come with her, and I always saw her working.
Yeah, shout out to moms. Mama's really the best. And then you moved here to the Netherlands, and yeah, I've seen you also very active within the university space. So I wonder if there is a moment once you moved to the Netherlands, specific or maybe a phase in which you realized that the way, in a way, that universities were teaching to you was not the sort of way that you wished for, and you thought that, well, I really have to change that and work towards that.
Yes, I think this was like probably first course I ever took in anthropology.
Core themes in
yeah.
anthropology. Taken that.
Yes. So how do I say this? One of the reasons I also didn't want to study in Spain, it's because it's still very colonial. In the sense that when I went to high school, some of the teachers were saying that, that like Spain wasn't as bad as, let's say, France or Britain or all of these other colonizer countries. So then I just knew I didn't want to deal with that anymore. But I just started my bachelor's, and then we had interesting conversations, both within like certain class members and professors. And then I was like, okay, maybe I was too naive thinking that like the Netherlands would be different. But yeah, I guess at the very beginning, and in the end, you end up making friends making friends that think like you. So it's like when professors say something weird, you all just look around and then you realize who's on your side. And that's how, at the end of every lecture, like few classmates would just meet and talk about certain stuff.
Yeah, so it was mostly something that you found out in your teachers, sort of.
Yes, I think some classmates as well. And at some point, we ended up having like a group discussion, which also didn't go well. I guess people don't know who to prioritize. Like the fact that, let's say that there's only 4 people complaining, does not mean, I don't know. That sometimes you just need to know who to listen. And if it's people of color complaining about something, even though we're like the minority within the class, you should be...
clearly there is something to be talked about.
So some classmates as well. Also because I took courses in other departments, so this is like an active thing, also within theology, for example. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. I mean, I was also wondering how sort of you became so close to the Palestinian cause. Was it, something always there for you, or because this is the sort of context in which I've seen you the most. So I was wondering, how did that come about?
I think it was always within me. Like, yes, I've posted about Palestine before, like years ago, I remember. And then I guess like growing up in Spain also helped me, because I've seen like protests as well in the city, and I guess it was like a topic of conversation within the news as well. So I was somewhat familiar with it. I guess for me, it was also a topic at home sometimes. I guess we're Muslims, so if you just see like other Muslim people suffering, you just bring it up. But the same thing goes with other countries. And I don't know, I feel like, I guess the moment I saw all the propaganda and all the media that I even got through like, I don't know, let's say newspapers that I sometimes read, or like Instagram accounts, then I was like, people are like brainwashed, which I think that might not happen with other countries. So then, again, I saw mass protest, and like for me, it was not an option to not join.
Yeah, of course. Well, so throughout all these years of student activism within the university, what would you say was your biggest challenge on the one hand, and perhaps also reward for the massive work that you have put in this cause?
I mean, I think the challenge is not finding enough people that are supportive, or I think there's a lot of passive supporters, and then what you really need is active organizers, because in the end we're all students or working students, also staff who have their own problems. So I guess the group really ends up being very small, especially with who are like active members and actively organizing. And I guess sometimes frustrations of people saying like, oh, we support you, it's so good that you're doing this, but then it's like, okay, but why are you not doing it, because it can
Yeah.
be tiring for us. But I mean, in the end, we still make it happen. We still organized many events. We've organized a lot of protests, fundraisers. I think that's what I appreciate the most. I would say that we literally raised thousands that were donated to different Palestinian organizations. So I guess that's like the reward. I would say I really don't want to make it about myself, but because I feel like it's not about me, but it's good to also see that
Your actions.
yes, your
Yeah.
actions, and that you're trying your best to support people, and that you're an ally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think also for me, being in the same spaces, it was very refreshing to also see you there specifically. So yeah, it's not about you, but also thank you for the
thank
work
you.
that you've done really in the years. And so we've talked about some sort of problems or things within the university that don't work and then we wish to change. So I was wondering, how would you envision or describe sort of an alternative space of learning within the university? So what would that look like to you?
I mean, I think that it could be anything. It could be just starting meetings to discuss things and then see how to make them happen. It can be hosting screenings, panel discussions, which I guess is something that me and two friends kind of also started within our department. And then we hosted 2 events about Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess this also gets attention from people within the department, because sometimes it's, I don't know, let's say, it can be a bit scary for people to join a pro-Palestine group or an event by those like protesters that you don't know. Whereas if it's organized by your department, then it's easier for you to, just go. So I think this could be one thing. Also, maybe addressing certain things within your department or the university, the faculty. I don't know. I think that it is such a shame that we're on campus for like 3 years, 4 years, however people take to get their degree, and then that you basically don't learn anything about real life. It's always theories and articles from like 80 years ago, or let's say 20, many
Some
of
white
them.
man that
Yes,
perhaps.
exactly. And I
Yeah.
feel like there's so much that can be done. So maybe just ask your professors to bring up scholars from other countries and other backgrounds, also guest speakers. And I don't know, I think group discussions, it's what helped the most, and panel discussions as well, bringing like multiple speakers and then see what you can learn from them.
Yeah, I think, it's very beautiful. I can really relate to that. And I was also wondering a bit, how were your actions received within the universities?
Ooh.
Hot topic, I would guess, but especially by teachers and students. What was the sort of reception of all these spaces that you've helped create?
I mean, I think that we got a lot of support, but also like backlash. I don't know, sometimes like on LinkedIn posts some hateful comments about us, like some professors or whatever. But I think that people usually take it in a good way. Sometimes I think many professors or just like people within the university don't like to position themselves or try to see both sides. And this is something that we don't really agree with. We make it kind of very, visible, or like we let people know what our stance is and that we support their right to return, the one state solution, And I think that when people hear these things, especially within university, the academics, the so-called intellectuals, then they always come and question everything. But I guess that's why we're a smaller group, but we still try to, I don't know, make it work.
Yeah, I think this is really inspiring for me, and perhaps for the listeners also, because I'm quite familiar to the spaces that you've helped create, but could you give a few examples of the activities, perhaps also your favorite one that you helped organize, and how was that? And
Ooh, favorite? I'm not sure, but we've done. I can mention some. We've done also screenings in Sudan and Congo. We've done like a teaching about different student movements, and then we got people to talk about how student movements were in their respective countries. Also one about like Palestine and the Nakba. And I think that one brought a lot of awareness and a lot of discussions within people. And I guess that's at least good, you know? I don't know. I think everything, all kinds of events that we've done have been helpful in one way or another. Some are more about, let's say, discussing politics within the university. Others have been about other countries, raising awareness about Palestine. I don't know, fundraisers. Yeah. I like those as well. Sometimes we host fundraisers somewhere else, so outside of the university. And then, we not only sell food and artwork and clothes, but also have some kind of program and then
workshops.
Yes, workshops as well.
Yeah. And I was thinking also when I was making the questions and thinking about you also. For me, it's really inspiring to see that you've pushed through in so many phases of this, terrible thing that is happening. So I was wondering, where do you think you find, the motivation to keep pushing, when you see that the world is not responding in any way, and perhaps also a bit closer to you, the university is so resistant to the cause that you're trying to pursue?
I mean, I guess for me, it's just seeing the people on the ground, right? Because I guess it's like a privilege for people to decide when and not to act and organize, whereas like people in Palestine don't get to choose, you know? So I think for me, it's I do it for them, and it's not really for me. So I guess also me coming from Ethiopia, like a country that's always been in like civil wars and mass killings everywhere, I think, because I know what it is like, and I also try to do things for my own people in a different manner. But I think for me it's just being I don't know, having humanity, I would say. This is I feel like I don't think I could be myself without actively organizing or attending things, because sometimes it makes sense that people need some kind of break, but I still go to protests that I might have not organized, or fundraisers and these kinds of things, to support as much as possible.
Yeah. Do you ever go back to Ethiopia? Did you have, or?
Yes, I've been many times. I was never born there, but yes, I've been privileged and blessed to go there multiple times. I was there this January. I was also there a few years ago.
Must be very beautiful.
Yes, it's beautiful. I also don't get to visit my parents' region because it's, I guess, not safe. But I guess just being in the capital city means a lot to me, and just my family, and it's just like who I am in the end, even though I've been born in Spain. And people might question it, but
people shouldn't question it. And it's absolutely your own. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's the cultures, the people, the food, the music, everything.
What is the national dish, or
what? We have so many. So we have like some kind of flat bread that you eat with everything, and the bread, it's called, I guess, injera in Amharic, and then we call it bidden or biddena in Oromo, which is my parents' language. Mm-hmm. And then you eat it with different stews. But because I'm vegetarian, I just eat like with lentils or beans, like a chickpea sauce, I don't know, lettuce.
Getting hungry, so
yes.
This is
but there's a few Ethiopian restaurants here.
Yeah, just around the corner,
yes.
right?
And they're really
in the OT for the listeners, so right in the Overton, and there's a lot.
Yes, and
cafes.
And they're pretty nice. So
we don't advertise, but but well, and also perhaps you talked about a bit that the people make you sort of keep pushing, and also, I mean, I was wondering emotionally, how do you also take care of yourself, and in a situation in which, it's so painful to see those pictures. And I think, for some people it's so easy to say, oh, I don't want to see that, and sort of withdraw a bit, also for mental health. So I was wondering, how do you, emotionally, how do you take care
good
of
question.
yourself?
I've been burnt out for a long time. So
Okay.
I don't know. I think when you organize, you meet amazing people. And I think it's a different kind of friendship. Like this comrade thing where there's people who, I don't know, you fully support and you fully admire. And it's people who, I don't know, I say, like, let's say outside of activism, I wouldn't really be their friends. But because we're in the same thing, you just end up getting along. And I think maybe that's one of the things. I've met some of my closest friends through activism, and maybe that's a reward, actually. All of the nice people that I've met through organizing, professors, different kinds of activists, students, like all over the country. I think it's through that. And then, I don't know how else.
I think the sort of connections that you make in these sort of spaces are really, really something special that I think it's hard to also explain to people that are not in there. So I think it's something very beautiful.
I really don't know, because sometimes I'm like, this person is my enemy, but in the end, like, you can't be, even though I wish. No, I really don't wish that, but
Well, I mean, something else I'm wondering is that we've been talking about activism, and well, in a way, you're still doing it within a university space. So I think, I don't know, I'm a bit wondering if you still have faith in sort of academia in the university as a space that can be radical and can be sort of emancipatory, or you think, well, that these spaces have become too constrained by institutional norms and to allow the kind of critical thinking that you are pursuing? Or do you still think that a change can be made within the university and academia?
Cut the cameras. Enough with this. I mean, I think everyone's so worried that like such a big institution like a university, it's always going to be a colonial space. You know, the fact that they had ties with South Africa back then, and I think it's still very colonial, and you can see within their structures and the differences between all the hierarchies that are there. But I guess just like in every other space, you would always find people that have, similar values as you. These are always going to be the minority. It's never going to be most people within the university who agree with you. But at least that's something. But yeah, I guess it can be applied to anything, you know?
Yeah.
Do I have hope? I do, but some people say I have too much hope. So I don't know how to, I don't know how to take it now that I'm doing my master's and I'm like, oh, should I do a PhD? I want to be a professor. And then people are like, maybe you don't want to.
Because also you're doing a research master, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm curious, do you wish to continue to the sort of academic path? Or
I do wish so, also because I am inspired by many writers and I don't know. And I feel like there's so many interesting articles that are out there. Like, for example, Oromo scholars and, I don't know, Black feminists. So then I'm like, I wish I could be like them. And they are still part of like an academic setting and are, I don't know. They make it, you know, they
worth it.
Yes. But I'm aware that there is a lot of fighting. And this is something that I also see within the professors that I mostly admire the most. Because they're also having to fight internal things within like their colleagues.
Yeah.
So then I am aware that these will always happen. But I don't know, might as well be a professor and then try to inspire future students. Because that's also what I had with one of my thesis supervisors. She was amazing. And I think that's why the reason of why I would want to stay in academia.
Yeah, I think I can also really relate to that. I think, I don't know, paradoxically, within the university space, if it wasn't for some of my teachers, I don't think I'd be interested in certain topics. I don't think I would be asking myself certain questions. So, yeah, something to think about, the sort of impact that you can have as a teacher within the university, despite, of course, the very structure of the university, which, as you said, will always be colonial and, well, tied to nationalism. So
yeah, I also don't see that many Black scholars, for example, in the Netherlands. So then, I think that there was recently a Black scholar conference here, but it was in The Hague. And it was so, I don't know, refreshing for me to see all of these PhDs and professors and then just professionals in any kind of way. And yeah, I think I am inspired by these kind of people. Also, the very few Black professors that I know, or like Muslim professors, I just really want to be a figure like that for future students.
Mm-hmm. I think that's very beautiful. And, well, I know you will, but I still wish you.
Inshallah.
And inshallah. And yeah, I think we talked about sort of hope. And I wonder which kind of legacy you hope to leave behind with your actions and things. What do you hope to give and to deliver?
I don't know. I think I always try to educate people. One of the things that I try my best to address, it's also just internalized things that people might have within them. Let's say internalized racism. So then just like questioning people's attitudes. And yeah, I guess like I hope I've done my work with that, because I brought it up so many times.
This idea of internalized racism, you mean?
Yeah. And I think like, sure, most people have been born in the West, even those who haven't, like there's still always something, because this is just the world we live in. And yeah, I guess when you're part of a solidarity movement, like these solidarity groups for Palestine, you cannot fight or protest for Palestine without keeping anti-racism in mind, or also supporting refugees and fighting Islamophobia. So everything's interconnected in the end. So
intersectionality keeps coming back.
So I really try my best to connect like different problems, also like with Sudan now. And I hope that people see it. But again, I think I'm just like following whatever other people have said before, you know. I'm just like, I don't know, giving like kind of pushing it a bit more in person, because these are things that I see in social media and I agree with. So I'm like, let me just bring it up in a meeting.
Yeah, and I think it's really nice, and really, I know you have inspired a lot of people, and also people that are with you. And well, I have one last question that we always ask to our guests, which is a tricky one. So, well, the question is, if you could make one change for a better future, what would that be? It can be anything.
I don't know. Oh my, what is this? Okay, one change. I don't know. I think just like a revolution everywhere, just literally change the system. I guess, because we know the system is not working and it has not been working. Definitely in, I don't know, non-Western countries or whatever that is. And yeah, you just see how the far right is becoming bigger and bigger everywhere here in Europe and just US and whatever. Yeah,
it's very scary.
Yes, so I think maybe a revolution. Let's hope for that.
Yes.
I'll be there.
I'll be there as well. Well, on that very note, I want to thank you again for being here. This has been really nice. And really, if you don't have any other question.
No, thank you very much.
We'll end it here. Thank you so much. And we will see each other around.
Thank you for listening as well.
Rad-Ish.